Yeah, that's right. We're doing a little show for you. This time it's not going to be a Filmation
episode
or a commentary, if you will.
Commentary episode.
Matthew Rodriguez is here. He just came in. He hasn't even said hi yet, and I started this little thing. We're gonna do a little 20-minute thing here, 20 minutes or so. So you know, don't Matt Rod this out and start going on one of your tangents. But
Matt Rod.
yeah. Jeremy's not situated yet. This is
gotta get this mic out of your face.
Yeah.
This one here.
That one can go away. I don't think unless you're gonna sit over there, Matt. It's up to you.
Where do you guys look?
Wherever you're comfortable.
We can see us all. We'll just take that down and it'll be
yeah.
Yeah.
Plug it.
So
yeah, this is Steve. This is Steve's fault.
Yeah, I like this though. It's raw. It's real.
This is how
it's dirty.
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
This is the
you
dark.
did it.
This is the dark underbelly of podcasting. That's what this is. We're gonna talk about now all of us have seen various different parts of this. I don't think any one of us has seen all of it, but Matt's got a knife.
Hey, can we just talk about his hat real quick? Isn't that a cool hat?
I can't even
show Steve your hat.
Are you live on the camera?
Yeah, the camera's live too.
Oh, it is sweet.
I got it in California.
It's like a trucker hat, with the netted kind of back end, and
yeah,
it's got
so
a
his head
patch
can
of
breathe.
So my hairs can breathe. The last of the hairs on the sides.
Yeah,
He-Man's hair flowing in the wind on this patch on the front. It's pretty cool.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I like your shirt too. You're just looking good today. It brings out the blue in your eyes.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. My wife just got me this shirt, so
it's nice. Though.
I'm here, and I will not tell you the speed I was driving because my wife might end up seeing this and she will yell at me. Okay. So
fair enough.
I came here as quickly as possible. I sold an extra truck tonight, so got another one sold. So
nice.
Continue.
So we're going to talk about what we've seen of the new episode, season 3 of The Toys That Made Us. So just to take inventory, Matt, which episodes have you seen?
I have only watched the Turtles episode so far.
Okay, that's good enough. I figure that one will probably take most of our conversation soon. We're not going very long here.
Yes.
Jeremy, what have you seen?
The Turtles one.
Oh, really? Yes. I thought you'd seen two.
No, that's it.
Oh, wow.
And so you've only seen the My Little Pony though, right?
No, I've seen everything but Power Rangers.
Oh,
I've seen My Little Pony. I've seen Turtles, and I have seen what's the other one? Jesus.
Power Rangers.
No.
My Little
Pony.
Turtles. There's a fourth one. Why can't I think of it? This is ridiculous.
I could.
Oh, Wrestlers.
Oh,
Wrestlers.
okay. Yeah,
it was kind of a generic. It seemed like, I didn't watch any of it yet, but I just said Wrestlers as one of them. I was like, okay. Like, it wasn't like a toy company title or anything.
No, it was because there were so many toy companies with their fingers in them.
Yeah.
In this.
Or their thumbs.
And it was more than, the Thumb Wrestlers.
Yeah.
And there was more than, it wasn't just the WWE, it was the WCW and ECW. So that I realized why it was called Wrestlers.
Okay. They just covered everything.
Okay. They did. That's a fun one. I'll just talk about the two that I saw that these guys didn't real quick. And then we'll settle in on Turtles a little bit. So yeah, it was a fun one because, I just was a little kid, and we all were little kids. I don't know how, when Hulk Hogan was a big deal.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I remember the cartoon. What was this?
Junkyard Dog.
Oh, Rock and Wrestling. Yeah.
Rock and Wrestling.
Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how I learned who Junkyard Dog was from that cartoon.
That was my thumb wrestler. It was Junkyard Dog.
I always thought he was so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah. Ooh. Jeremy taking a little fireball,
I saw Matt do it. I copied him.
Nice. So no, it was really fun. It went through those big rubber figures. You guys have all seen them.
Yeah.
The big hard hit your brother with them and knock him out.
You could break cheekbones with that thing.
Yeah, and I had I had Hulk Hogan and Andre of those, and I just thought that they were great when I was a kid. I don't really know why. They're not very articulated, and
no,
they were probably as cheap as possible to make too, because it was just a single one mold of the character.
Well, they were a screw up.
Oh,
they were not supposed to be that big.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Come to find out, when you watch it, it's kind of
Okay.
neat. There's more to it than that. I'm not going to tell you everything, but that actually was just a
Interesting.
mishap that they came out in that size.
It's weird because past seasons and stuff, there's stuff I'd look at like Hello Kitty. Like, why would I ever want to watch that?
Right.
One? But then I watch it and I'm like, that was awesome.
Yeah. I was some of them just the behind the scenes when it comes to just business overall, like how you handle business transactions and dealing with different companies and stuff like that. That was just fascinating. Like, I didn't know the Hello Kitty one. It was like change purse. Like the first ever Hello Kitty thing was a change purse.
Right.
Like just like little things like that. And then
Yeah.
I think the Lego one, like the original stuff was made of wood.
Right.
And like those little things that you don't really know about. And then you kind of hear like this, I don't know. It's like almost like the mythos behind these companies,
Right.
you know, or these toy lines.
And since Lego and Hello Kitty, I enjoyed those episodes, and also because my wife was there and she had these when I was a kid.
Right.
That's why I wanted to see the My Little Pony one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which was good.
Mhm.
It was there was one of the girls in there was from Plastic Crack, the pony girl. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so she's in there. She's in it, and just another thing that was very eye-opening to how that all came about and what they really were trying to do and what they ended up doing was kind of an accident kind of sort of thing. And
Right on.
yeah. So I would recommend any of those, but the one that I have not seen the Power Rangers one, so I don't know about that. But I'm not a Power Rangers fan, but I'm sure I'll probably still like the episode. But I was a Turtles fan. That's about for the two first waves of Turtles.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's a huge Turtles fan.
Yeah.
And,
First tattoo was
Matt,
Michelangelo.
Matt, were you a big Turtles guy?
You know what? I will be as honest as possible in saying this, and I don't want to sound like I'm pushing my tongue out, but I forgot how much I liked Turtles until I watched this episode. Like, I like them, and I've always liked them.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mondo Gecko. Like, there's a couple of random, the Ace Duck.
Yeah.
There's a couple random figures that I really liked, and I had Ray Fillet. But when I watched this, like, it brought me back. Like, when seeing the original four Turtles, like how not generic is the wrong term, but like how simple. Like, I guess I haven't really looked at them at cons and looked at them at toy shows recently enough to like think about them. But seeing them all pivoting on that stand, that first wave, and then they show the villains too.
They're still just killer figures.
They're killer figures. And I forgot how much I loved the show and I loved the toys. I think I have a bad taste in my mouth. I specifically remember two things. You mentioned wrestling and you mentioned Turtles. One set of cousins had all of the wrestling things, and it always pissed me off because their parents always bought them everything. And then this other cousin in Chicago, he had everything Turtles, and I wanted that blimp so bad. And I've never owned that blimp in my entire life. But just watching this episode was bringing all these like weird memories back, and I just forgot how freaking cool it was.
Yeah. It was like it was bigger than He-Man for me, only because there was so much of it and it went for so long.
Right.
And it was like every single kid, boy or girl, was into that stuff.
So timeline, what age were you when it hit? Like, could that be why it holds on a little bit longer too?
Yeah, because I was older
memories.
too. Yeah, I was. Well, it came. I specifically remember the first turtle I ever saw was Donatello, and it was at this kid's house. Every year we had a like a Christmas thing, like a Secret Santa type giveaway.
Okay.
Boys would buy a gift for a boy, and girls would buy a gift for a girl. You could not get away with that now, but back then you could. So I had a buddy who had just started school that year, so he was supposed to have gotten this figure, but he went to Florida. So this other kid by default got that figure. I happened to hang out with that kid over Christmas break, and there's a Donatello figure. I'm like, what is this?
Right.
And boom, cemented my interest in it. And then I caught the those first 5 episodes. They put it in like a little movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was it something of the Shredder, Return of the Shredder or something? Or
Oh, I'm one of them's
Secret
Turtle
of the
Tracks or
Bird.
something.
Yeah. They've
I
got
don't remember
individual
all of them.
episode names, but I
Yeah.
think they did a little collection.
Basically, season 1 was like 5
Yeah,
or 6
yeah,
episodes,
right,
5
right.
episodes, I think. So
Yeah.
The introduction.
yeah, and it's arguably the best art they had throughout the entire series.
It's good.
It's just awesome. They were a little edgier. It was still funny, but like it wasn't just all slapstick. Like they still like when they hit robots and they exploded, it was still like awesome instead of them like oops and tripping or something and getting caught in something stupid.
Well, since we're sharing, my introduction to Turtle was from Hobby Lobby, Chris Middlecamp. He had. I remember him telling me
How old were you?
about must have been 10. When did they come out? 87 or 88?
That first cartoon was like 87, but I think the toys were like 88.
Right.
So I want to say 88's when I.
So I don't remember the cartoon before the toys.
Right.
I remember finding the toys, and I remember him saying, "Hey, I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle." What the hell is that?
Right.
And I remember being at his house and him showing me Michelangelo was the only one he had, from what I remember. And I was like, I was so like in love with the nunchucks, which we all know on that first Michelangelo they broke if you played with them a little bit.
Yep.
But I just loved how you could store him on his back. You could put him in those in his belt.
I never did though because the more you did it, the more they creased and the more they would break.
Right, of course. So,
but it was cool to still be able to do it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I gotta have a Ninja Turtle, and I remember going to the store, and my mom saying I could get one, and I went there, and the only Ninja Turtle I had was Michelangelo, which was awesome and a bummer because I wanted to get a different one than Chris had, but yet I love the nunchucks, and Michelangelo would become my favorite.
Yeah.
Turtle. So, anyways, I got Michelangelo, and I will say this. I would say I probably drew Ninja Turtles more than I drew anything.
Yeah, for sure. Still.
Yeah,
I think for one thing,
the classic Ninja Turtle head with the teeth
and
like the eyebrows
and
that's
it's
like
easy.
Legit,
easy to draw.
Legit sketching is just Ninja Turtles.
Yes, and so I would say definitely they hit me with that art. And I was along in deep the first 2 waves, and then that third wave. Me and Jeremy were riding home from recording Potu one day, and we looked at exactly where I jumped off, and it was wave 3. I only got one figure, and it was Slash.
Yep,
and that's it.
Yep.
Okay,
I kept going a little bit longer, but now of course I picked him up. But I know you probably want to get into when you found it, but
no, I just remember I just specifically remember them in the store. I think because of the age thing, a lot more than Master stuff, just because you're a little bit older.
Yeah.
And I remember like they showed some on-card stuff on that episode, and I mean it's pretty iconic. And then the whole, were they the first ones to do that too with the weapons? Like be like, you know what? We're not going to make our line workers pop out all these weapons. We're just going to
kept them on the tree,
kept them on the tree in the packaging and say, screw it, because that's something that I specifically remember as well.
That might have been one of the first ones to do that. I know G.I. Joe ended up doing that in its later waves.
Yeah.
They started coming with weapons on the tree.
It was smart. You get a lot of weapons though.
You did. And they always had the little piece where you broke them off.
Yeah,
was stuck to the weapon.
You're right. It always poke you. To talk about those, to bring it back to the nunchucks. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but one year for my birthday, I got a foot soldier, and it'll lead into the nunchucks. I got a foot soldier, and like as soon as I open it up, his leg falls off, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. So I wrote Playmates a letter. And I said, basically, like, I'm in 5th grade. I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, I just got this foot soldier for my birthday. His leg broke off. And I think that kind of sucks. Whatever I wrote, it was probably not, it wasn't rude or anything. And I'm like, and also, Michelangelo's nunchucks always break. So I sent the letter, and I basically forgot about it. Well, I don't know how long after that it was, but I ended up getting a box from them. And it was a foot soldier and a little tree with the nunchucks on it for Michelangelo.
Wow.
That is
so
cool.
Yeah, so like Playmates, they did me good, man. So I can never turn my back on them. They were cool to me when I was young, so
yeah.
That is cool.
That's an awesome
Yeah.
story.
That it would have been really cool if you'd have kept that letter or kept a copy of that letter.
I know. I have no idea what happened with it. So, yeah.
No, that's fun stuff. Fun
Yeah.
stuff. No, it's a good episode. I really liked.
But
It goes to show you too, like with this episode specifically, like just how. I mean, obviously, talent is involved for sure.
oh yeah, I know where you're
Storytelling.
going though.
Obviously, all that type of stuff's involved with all this creative stuff. But just the timing of
It
everything
was
and like how
luck.
and the luck
Just
and how everything like
nailed.
falls in place. Like, because seriously, you look at it now, and they mentioned something like sold to Nickelodeon for $60 million. As far as like, I think that was just like movie and like entertainment rights, not just the like. I don't think that they own the toy rights, but that was entertainment rights. But regardless of that, just the fact that all those other companies were just like, nope, dumb, nope, dumb, nope, dumb,
Yep.
nope, dumb. And then Playmates is like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
so because it almost seems like the concept, me as a creative thinker, if you have a creative thinker or a creative visionist in all of these companies, you would think that one of the big four would be like, that's pretty cool, kind of
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Or are they so tunnel visioned on their like, oh, we're only thinking about Army G.I. Joe style guys, or we're only thinking about naked barbarians, and like they're so tunnel visioned with what has quote unquote worked for their company. You know what I mean? So
Right.
just the fact that, and that's what was great about the episode is that yes, the talent is there and you can see the storyline, but
Yeah.
the whole luck side of it was
And bringing this back to Motu before we wrap this up in a few minutes. Of course, Mark Taylor
Right. You know,
had a big
And
influence
I
on
like
this.
never knew that until it had to be like within the last few years.
yeah, it was the past few years.
Yeah,
for me
and all of
too.
a sudden I'm like, Mark Taylor worked on. Wait, same Mark Taylor that worked on He-Man worked on Ninja Turtles? I'm like, it must have been not much at all. Turns out, nope, it was like a lot.
like he came in. It seemed to me
like
he
the introduction
came
of
in,
it.
yeah, he came in and like took these
Like the
designs and like made them cool.
original designs and like said, no, we got to change this and that and help update them and yeah, with him, just it goes to show you his talent. I think it's been the last couple of years seeing interviews with him and some of these documentaries where he'll like throw out a phrase like, and then I went, this is before I did Turtles, or then I went and did Turtles.
Yeah.
And like, and his wife will say something like that. And that's when like, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, so
yeah,
he-
like, wait, that was just kind of in passing. Like,
yeah, like, wait a minute. And like, no, like Turtles started and they brought him in. And I don't know if you remember in the interview, but then the one guy that like was heading it is just like, then I went back to Mattel. And then that was the last time the last time you see him in the interviews.
It was pretty cool. James Eatock was in it.
Yeah, that was interesting too. I didn't know he had such a connection to Turtles.
I've seen a few things with him with Turtles, so I guess the biggest part, which is, I've seen like documentaries. I know Rob McCollum did a, Turtle Power documentary and stuff. It's fantastic. But the one thing that nobody's ever really touched on is like Peter and Kevin and like their relationship. Like they always talk about the beginning and then they just kind of fade out when
Right.
and then Turtles went to crap. And then they don't really talk about it anymore. It's like they actually went and Kevin's sitting there and talking about how he, how he was feeling and how he messed up and, he made a few decisions that he probably shouldn't have because he was young and all that stuff.
Sure.
Then they hugged. Like I'm sitting there like,
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because from an outsider's point of view, Turtles never really went away technically. Like there's like 5 different incarnations cartoon wise, and there's always been a steady flow of toys. But I wasn't on the inside track like you were as far as knowing the relationship between those two. So that they unpacked that a little bit was pretty cool because they hadn't done that very much in any of these other episodes as far as the creators or whatever. So
Then the one thing that I took from that was, when they said Peter Laird still had the rights to put out, like comics or whatever and stuff like that. Like that still leaves that possibility of Eastman and Laird doing a comic together.
yeah.
And that would just blow my freaking mind.
And the way he even said it too, he was just like, I have no plans for it, but he just needed he needed to retain that. Right
Yeah, he
be
needs to
able
at least
do it,
hold
which is
on
like-
to that one
which is
thing.
awesome that
Yeah.
he did. You know, in my opinion.
It's just like, yeah. Listening to those guys talk about each other, it's like, dude, these guys just hang out.
Yeah, just
It's
get
like you
over
both
the
want to
crap.
hang out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like, anyways.
Yeah, I have never heard very many true love stories that can rival, as far as true love creative partner stories that can rival those two guys when they explain it, and that is pretty freaking cool.
Me and Jeremy are working on it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
trying.
I'm getting there.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about something else. Thanks for your support. Thanks, Patreons. You guys make this show affordable.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, so I
definitely
drove an
helps.
hour here to just do a 20-minute segment?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
can
no,
you go
no!
home
We're
now?
about to do an episode after this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. What is that called? It's like Hug a Patron Day. What is it? Something with patrons today.
I don't know.
Yeah, look up these guys on Patreon, guys. I mean, you guys are listening, but how about this? Tell your friends. Or
These
share their
people
info.
are on Patreon.
That's why he's telling.
Tell your friends or share their page on Patreon, because the little that you do helps big time. Helps big time.
Yeah, it does. You find it yet, Jeremy?
Steve showers more often.
I do. Take care of myself.
Yeah.
I have a little spring in my step.
You guys
You
are
are, you're
buying him
springing
some
stuff.
Zest fully clean bath soap with your donations.
I'm put on the spot. I'm like trying to.
Oh,
find
no.
stuff. I'm like,
What spot are you
no.
being put on?
'cause
Well,
I-
the music's playing, and he wants to say thank you to the Patriots because it's Patreon Day or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's some sort of like
hey,
Hug a
Bill,
Patron Day. I can't
Ted,
remember what it is. It's like, you know.
Tim,
All right.
But yeah,
Ezekiel.
thank you. We love you.
We love you.
Karen, you too. So what actually went down with them then? Since you're going to know more than I do.
It's Thank You Patrons Day. That's what it is. What now?
I never realized that he was. How older is he then?
8 years. It's
8
I
years.
guess, yeah.
It looks a little bit more of a gap because they went
It's like
past
25.
well, they went past the 8, and then I wasn't going to rewind it because I didn't feel like rewinding it. But I'm like, did they say 18? Like I almost like believed it was
No.
18.
He was probably. I mean,
Because
because
he-
Laird was balding pretty early anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like him, like his hand, like he just looks like he's aged
Well, I mean,
a little bit.
Eastman's got to be like 55 or something.
But
like
he must
that.
look good then for his age.
Looked weird with the stupid blue hair. What the hell is he doing?
Does he have
Pink
blue
hair.
hair? Pink hair?
Look at the
Alright.
top of his hair. It's like dyed a weird color.
Oh, I
don't
didn't-
know.
I didn't-
He's got a hot young wife, so
I wasn't even looking at that.
it's Thank You Patrons Day. That's what it is.
Because it sounded like he just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna sell. At least he sold his half of his rights to.
Well, the thing is, Eastman screwed himself because he sold his rights for like $1 million or something like
Right.
that.
And then they showed like
And then
4 years
Laird
later or
sold
whatever.
his for $60 million.
But yeah,
And that explains why Eastman is going around to every con he possibly can and
Laird
selling
doesn't
stuff.
have
and
to,
Laird's not doing shit.
Wow. That's a big difference.
and he didn't get $1 out of that $60 million.
I mean, maybe if they're buddies now. Maybe we'd be like, hey, so
One, it sounded like from a lot of the new recent stuff, they're bringing him in to consult on different things, like the movies and the this and the that. Did you watch that interview with the fucking Raphael actor? The little thing, I was like, holy shit! Like,
wasn't
that's
that
kind of a
crazy
dick
how they
move.
fucked them?
They were getting the boom mic guys back because they wanted to clock them out.
Yeah, I
They
saw
made
that.
the 4 actors like sit there.
56.
Yeah, 56.
Is this still live?
We keep it going the whole time.
Here we go.
Oh, really?
If you're a Patreon supporter, you know.
Podcasters of the Universe, episode 56.
56, everybody! And we'd
God.
like to welcome to you Stephen Bisciotti, Jeremy DeWitt, and special guest,
Matthew
Hola!
Hello, Matthew.
How did I pull that one off? That was a long one.
That
That
was
was. You
fun.
went deep.
I
went
did.
deep for that.
That was
Totally
fun.
went deep.
We had a harmony going too.
Mhm.
It was exciting. There, hi everybody. Hi Steve. Hi Matt.
Hey guys.
Hi, extender.
Just relaxed and nice. We just did a little for thank you patrons day. Now that I'll remember, we just did a little Patreon exclusive patrons of the universe episode talking about some stuff.
yeah.
So
Thanks for bringing me in on that. That was kind of cool. I've never been a part of that before. So
well, you know, you're the honorary third member, so we had to include you. So hey, how you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had we had some cons go on. We had some.
Oh yeah, Grand Rapids Comic Con. I was there.
Yeah, then I went up north for some hunting, which I didn't hunt, but you know I went up there to partake in some food and some drink.
Food will get me to go anywhere.
Food and drink.
okay,
Watching some TV.
family or
Oh yeah, my I used to hunt for years, probably quit
Okay.
around 30,
Okay.
the age 30. And my dad used to hunt; he don't hunt anymore. My brother used to hunt; he don't hunt anymore. We have a cabin. My parents have this cabin that they've had since I was 9. And they actually recently, because they're getting older and they just the maintenance of it and all, they recently sold it in the last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To my sister. So basically, my sister and brother-in-law own it now.
Oh wow.
So we still, and my brother-in-law still hunts. So he still goes up to the cabin to hunt. And of course, we got to go,
yeah.
you know, just to watch some TV, watch some Mandalorian up there. We had Disney Plus.
very
I mean, it wasn't like we were,
I was saying roughing it out there.
No, my mom makes this great big plate of enchiladas,
Oh,
and
man.
we just sit around and eat enchiladas and watch Netflix and Disney Plus and sit around in our underwear.
Nice.
It's pretty good. It's
That's
pretty
right.
awesome.
That's what they do in Eternia.
Exactly.
great. So it's like 2 days of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome.
So
Fun.
yeah, no, it was fun. How about you?
I haven't done a lot of much. My band hasn't been playing out, so I've been just like sitting at home on the weekend, which is kind of new. But I did go to Grand Rapids Comic Con, and I saw you all there. That
Yeah.
was fun.
That's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Fun time.
I didn't see many Masters cosplayers. I saw one Skeletor walking around. That was it.
Was it a woman?
I don't think so.
I think I saw a female Skeletor.
Oh, maybe they were.
I saw about 3 Shiras.
I saw
Really?
3 Shiras. I saw 2 Katras and
Yeah.
I saw
a,
none of
a pretty good. I mean, the Shira and Glimmer walking around together for a whole day. They were very good.
I don't remember.
Oh, man.
Was that Netflix Shira that you
Yep.
saw? Okay.
Yep, Netflix Shira.
I
Netflix
saw
Glimmer.
one classic Shira,
Oh, nice.
like you know, the 85 Shira.
Yeah.
And then all the other ones I saw that were Shira related. And I saw 2 catchers, I think.
Yeah, younger, like a teenage kind of age girl.
It's so
I
funny.
like
She's
that.
walking by, and I was like, "Hey, Catra," and she looked at me, and she's like lit up like a Christmas tree. Like not very many people knew who she
Right,
was. You
yeah.
know?
Right.
Like, yeah, no, I don't watch that show, but I know who you.
I know who you
I
are.
know-
We're
I know
we're
what's going on.
we're like step siblings.
Yeah. Matt selling cars.
Selling cars. Yeah, selling cars. I unfortunately, but fortunately, I am happy about it. I won't complain, but I have to. I'm coaching my son playing basketball in 5th grade. He really wants to play because his friends are all playing recreation basketball, and so they had out of 30 kids that are going to go out for 3 teams. They had 1 dad volunteer to coach, and
Oh,
so
man.
I was like, I will, like, I'll do it. And I like it. I enjoy it. I mean, basketball is a sport that I play a lot. So I'm going to be doing that a little bit and selling cars. And then we just had our Kickstarter go through 122%, something like that.
What was that Kickstarter for?
That was Defenders of Eden, issue number 2.
Which
Um,
I will be getting.
You are our first, you have a nice, we're actually making our name bigger than everyone else's name since you were the first.
Did you
backer?
do that for me for Sigma 6? I mean, I was first backer.
First of all, it's not Sigma 6.
Sigma 6. I'm like G.I. Joe.
G.I.
Sigma
Joe.
6.
Second of all, no, we didn't do that for you.
That's crappy.
No, I actually listened to it's funny because the guys told me that I had to listen to a segment because we might do something fun later on tonight. And of course, the way, I don't know if it was Jeremy or Steve that stated it through text, he
It
said,
was me.
Steve said, yeah, it starts at this time after we talk about Defenders of Eden.
So you went back and
Oh, of
listened.
course. I'm like, well, why don't I just listen to that too? And so I'm listening to that and I'm getting all red in the face listening to you guys talk about it. So I do appreciate the support, and obviously, yeah, it is very kind of Motu inspired, and the origin story of Defenders of Eden is so ingrained within the Motu community, and a few of the Nate Barch and CJ Edwards and Andrew Kramer and Juka I've always bounced off things off of a lot of these guys. And
I think he would be offended if you heard you called him Juka.
Yuka.
There you go.
Yuka.
We're going to get him to PowerCon one of these years, Dan.
Yeah, seriously. And Andrew as well. And so again, appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And so we're going to be fulfilling that within the next 3 weeks. Everyone's going to get their copies and their bundles before Christmas time.
Wonderful.
Man, you got a lot going on.
I don't know. Is issue 1 available still? Is there any way that people can get it?
Yeah, issue 1. We actually had a Kickstarter level where you could get both of them. And then I've been selling them, to people through like with a PDF file. A lot of people like getting it that way. So if you just contact me personally through email, ideasfrommars@gmail.com, or on Facebook, I'll be happy to provide you with issue 1 if you have missed it.
Now, how's your other baby coming? You and you're a co-creator with Curtis Armstrong, and you guys have your Tulip City. Yeah, how are you guys doing with that?
It's going fantastic. We actually opened up. People don't read what we send them. So the application process this year, we decided that we were going to filter it a little bit more, and that we could be a little bit more particular about who we choose. And so on the application, it actually says, like, just don't send us money right now. Like, don't fill out the app. We'll take a look at it. And of course, like, people, like, all of a sudden my PayPal, boop, 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 people are sending me $50, $50, $100. Like, whoa, slow down. And some of the people, it's fine, but I'm just like, don't you read? Like,
Nope.
But like one guy, God bless his heart, he's an amazing guy. He's like, I hope I make it into the show this year. He says that online. I'm like, he already sent me his booth fee.
Right.
Like,
And he hopes he makes it.
Yeah, he hopes he makes it. I'm like, do I keep that? Or
Right. That was just his like spending money.
Yeah,
Same venue?
Same venue this year. This is probably going to be our last year at Doubletree. We're just getting too big.
Yeah.
Getting too big for that venue. So we love the venue. We love the people there and the room rates and all this other stuff that goes along with it. But we're going to go back to the year 1 venue, which is the Holland Civic Center. And a lot of people have been kind of begging for that anyways. We just need to save up a little bit of money for, a lot of the vendors make, a ton of money at these shows, and these artists are pulling in a ton of money at these shows. So people just assume that, whoever runs the show must be pulling in a ton of money as well. And I'm going to be honest, that's not the case. And so we've just been kind of saving year after year, and we're going to get back in that original venue and go from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You and Curtis do a nice job on that show, and I'm glad that you guys are going to, continue on. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
I was never at the first venue, so
Ooh.
yeah, that'll be new.
You're going to be a first venue virgin?
Yeah.
First venue was the first show I ever really sold art at.
Wow.
Yeah. He was making
That's
googly
exciting.
eyes at me.
Yeah.
That's
I was trying to buddy up to Matt. Matt was blowing me off.
yeah. He's a weird fellow, that Matt. We love him.
All right.
So as we said before we head on, today is Thank You Patrons Day. For some reason, I couldn't figure out or remember what the name of that was when I was actually recording the episode.
It's
for the
pretty
patrons.
simple, too.
I know. So I would like to thank our 24 supporters by name: Len LaGuardia, Anthony Hausiel, Gary Rickelman, Paul Guyton, Kerwin Cheng Chua, Martin Canteros Paz, Tomas Rydberg, Ryan Davis, My Wife Is Going to Kill Me Podcasts, Travis Bowles, Sean Scavarna, Jim Bagtaz, Sven Walworth, Matthew Cavello, Jennifer Sykes, David N. Lapatino, Matt Rexer, Rodney Langford, Curtis Ackerman, Richard Haynes, Brian Bain, Mark Thompson, Dustin S. Yoke, Robert Cook, and our newest one, Lance. I hope it's Gin, but it's a Ginn, so maybe it's Gin, but I'm going to say Gin. Lance!
Good to have you.
Today. So that is what's currently on our list, and we would like to thank all of you for supporting us, and we love you.
We do. Thank you very much. And we appreciate it, and
Yeah.
I can't say we wouldn't do it without you, but it sure makes it a lot better to do it with you.
It sure does. And plus, we have stuff to give away still, which, we'll have to wait until I actually send the other stuff out for the 2-year contest.
You haven't sent it out yet?
No,
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting as bad as Pete. I've been working till like 4:30. I can't get to the post office to ship it out.
All right.
But that should be this week. Fingers crossed. So.
All right. Good.
News.
News, Jeremy. What is happening?
Well, let me tell you this, guys. There's not a lot of news.
Not a lot of
so
news
we're
today.
digging, but I do have some things. At least some stuff to, talk about. Super 7, they've re-released their Masters in the Universe Dungeon Rug, if you have not gotten it. They say to turn your Eternian dream into reality with this high-quality, hand-tufted, 100% acrylic Castle Grayskull rug. Artwork is based on the dungeon decal from the original Castle Grayskull playset, and it measures 45 inches by 60 inches, and it will be shipped rolled with an instruction sheet. I don't understand.
An instruction sheet?
Yeah, I don't know what's that about.
I would say that's probably kind of a wink.
Like an homage to
to the original cast.
Like a ply rug sticker here?
Yeah, type of thing. I would assume. Like it probably looks like the original one.
Cost is still $195. So yeah.
You said 100 and I was almost there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like 95.
At 60 I would be in.
Yeah, 60, I'd buy 2.
60.
It is cool, even if you did spend
60 or 2 for 100.
2 for 100. Yeah, there you
I
go.
always think things of Comic-Con terms, like we just got done with Grand Rapids, and like all the numbers for everything is like sort of, you have like Comic-Con numbers, like it's like 60 a piece or 2 for 100.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
So if you want to get that, it's currently available at Super 7. So next is Brian Flynn from Super 7 posted an update video on Snake Mountain, where we got to see the first test shots from the factory. Did you guys watch this?
I did, and I have to give myself a little pat on the back.
Yeah.
I had a funny comment where I put that I just said that, look, he's standing on the table next to Snake Mountain because he's a shorter guy.
Okay.
And then if you think of it in those terms, you're like, holy shit, that thing's big. Oh, unfortunately, I accidentally said, shoot. Holy crap, that thing's big. If you just pretend next time you look at the picture of him behind the Snake Mountain, pretend in your head that he's standing like on the floor level of it. And it's pretty funny.
Okay.
Okay. Can we rewind that part?
No, it's perfect.
No,
We're going to keep it all.
that's there.
Take it out.
It's there. We don't
This
edit
is real.
here.
The show's real.
That's right. We don't edit. This is absolutely necessary.
You're right. Yeah. There's been some moments, but still. I thought it looked black and
Details look good from what I could tell.
yeah, it was neat. I saw that the lava fall looked clear.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like, just from the pictures that I've seen, that the lava fall looks like it's going to be a different material than.
Yeah, it
it
is going to be a
okay.
translucent.
Okay.
The wolf head was upside down, but he knew.
Yeah.
He addressed it. I don't know. I mean, it's exciting, and he says that it's going to be early next year, which I don't know if I believe.
Which means 2021.
Right. I mean, it's probably at least going to be around summertime, I would assume. So, but I don't know. Then we'll be happily surprised if it comes earlier.
If it comes, it comes.
You're not getting it, Matt? Or
No, I think he is.
You got it?
He's in. We're all three.
And that's why I was mentioning the snake head thing the other day when I was just talking about, because I was looking at it a little bit harder. And yeah, I'm excited. And my wife's just like, that much for a castle? And I said, Rachel, it's a mountain.
Yep.
Obviously, it's bigger.
Yeah.
Like that thing's huge. I'm like, it's a mountain.
It's Snake Mountain.
I'm excited.
Pretty excited too. I can't wait to have that thing and play with it. I'm excited about little things like the bone throne.
Right?
You know, spent $700 or whatever it cost by the time you ship it, and I'm like, I can't wait to get the bone throne.
Right?
But I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah,
It just
all
looks
those
so
things.
cool.
I don't know if it's a method, like if it's intentionally this way. It could very well be if you like look at marketing structures and all this other different things and the way people view things. But like there's this disconnect that like it doesn't feel like $700 to me anymore because I already paid for it like a while ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not coming for a long time. So like slowly that $700 in my mind, or I guess in my emotions, is like stretched over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I end up like not being like, because if I had to like, if that was at the store in a box and it was $700, it would be a lot harder for me to just go boom. Here's
Well,
$700.
It's like under $2 a day for a year to own it.
We need to
And
get
it's like $700.
we need to
Right.
get Sally Struthers to make a commercial. I brought her up just on my wife was gonna kill me too. But I mean, if she had a commercial, it'd be like for the price of a cup of coffee a day.
Right,
it's
yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah.
Mountain,
Yeah.
You know,
And so that's helped me digest it, and my wife as well, that it's like, hey, it's going to come someday, and it's when it gets in here in the mail, it's going to feel free because we forgot about that
Yeah,
money.
absolutely.
I had to buy furniture to get my wife to.
Right. That's
Remember
true.
that story?
Furniture's nice though, isn't it?
It is nice. A
There you
brand new couch.
Yeah.
Chair.
It benefits both of you, really.
I was like, all I want is a mountain.
I don't need a stinking chair.
And a
I
snake
want a
on it.
mountain.
Just watching my kid play with the classics Castle Grayskull, though I'll get home randomly and he'll just have a bunch of figures on it and stuff like that. Whenever that happens, I'm just looking forward to Snake, like, because it's going to happen with the Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
Like, you see all the details and all the cool stuff with it. Like, it's going to be fun. So,
I'm excited.
It's so cool to be able to go to the bad guy's place and like, fight.
Right.
And then-
And we just never thought it would ever happen.
yeah, we've been fighting at Castle Grayskull for years.
Yeah.
now.
yeah, I
right?
know.
Time to bring the fight over there. Next is DC's Masters of the Multiverse comic is being released on Wednesday, November 21st. First issue.
Very close.
Yeah, that's tomorrow in recording land.
It is. Unless I get real ambitious and put this up tonight.
What's that say?
It said getting ready to restart, and I just said push it off for another hour.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sorry.
Oh,
All right. Anyway, sorry. That was a computer thing. What?
I said, I have no idea what it
You
says.
said something about tonight.
Oh, unless I get rambunctious and post this tonight.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Every
crazy.
now and then,
You never know. Yeah.
I do that.
You have been known to. So that's about it. I mean, we just know that He-Man and there's going to be a multiverse. And I know at least the movie characters and New Adventures characters and I think vintage characters or something.
Man, it seems like they're throwing everything into the
Yeah, I
kitchen
don't know.
sink at this.
Yeah, it's going to be cool though. I think I liked everything. It
What?
done so
You gonna
far.
check this out?
Oh yeah, I think just for what He-Man is and what He-Man's always been, I think that it plays into this fan base perfectly.
Yeah.
Because then you get
You're covering all your bases.
you're covering all your bases. I mean, everything's kind of gone multiverse in all other genres of as far as DC and Marvel. So I don't see why this couldn't work well in the same venue where, you're going to have your barbarian Akala He-Man, that gets the harness, and then you're going to have your New Adventures He-Man. You're going to have all this, because they already started with 2000X doing the generational sort of thing with King Grayskull. So, and then this kind of sends you off in different dimensions, sort of like, I think it's pretty cool, and it makes sense, I guess, to me. So I'm going to look forward to it. I'll definitely check it out.
Yep. I'll be getting it.
All right.
All right.
What's next?
Next, we have one more thing, and this is really not really news, but hey, we're grasping here. Masters of the Universe Revelations showrunner Kevin Smith tweeted a picture of himself
Yeah.
with the giant He-Man statue
Yeah.
on November 16th. As stated, the voice cast of the at Masters Official series I'm doing for at Mattel and at Netflix is insane. Big letters. When the news hits, it won't break the internet. Instead, it will make the internet believe that we're living in a simulation in which the programmers want to see us smile and cry tears of joy. That's promising us the world.
I would say with that, the cool thing about Kevin Smith is I think that because he is such a fan of just kind of the genre of nerd and geekdom, that he has, I think that his hands are spread further within the realm of talent in Hollywood than a lot of actual like directors even. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he knows
He's
a lot
got
of
nerd cred.
Right. He's got nerd cred and he knows a lot of people. And with the
He's notoriously nice.
with what has happened with the growth of Netflix, the growth of Disney Plus, the growth of all this stuff, we're seeing famous people treating media and media outlets differently. So I think gone officially, in my opinion, gone are the days, and I think Disney knows this already. They're already releasing original stuff on TV now. Technically, like gone are the days where, like, quote unquote, to be the biggest star in Hollywood, you have to be a movie star. I think that more people are open to getting a phone call from Kevin Smith and being like, hey, would you want to do this voice acting stuff?
Yeah, voice acting's gotten a lot of like praise in like, recent years.
Right. There's more credibility. Not that it was never good, but there's more credibility that comes along with it now than before. Yeah. Where it was like, oh, you're a good voice actor. You couldn't be in a movie because you're goofy looking, but you can sound cool.
Right.
You know, so I think that I'm looking forward to just seeing, because I don't think it's just going to be like only movie star voice actors, but I think there's going to be a nice variety of people kind of from all walks of fame, you know. Yeah.
You know he's throwing Jay in there, right? I mean, he's going to have to, right?
I think that's...
I don't even know if that's something that I need, but
goes with the territory.
I'm just like already, I'm kind of just guessing they're going to have him in there.
Well, he said he sounds like a stinker to him.
Oh, my God, that'd be so funny. But I won't be able to hear anything but Jay.
Yeah.
Like he's got such a distinctive, raspy voice. Like,
and that's where you have to be careful with certain people that is like so iconic with the way they sound.
Yeah, like you have John Heater come in and do his Napoleon. You know, his voice is going to sound like Napoleon. You know,
right?
That's all you're going to get out of it.
Right.
They actually use that exact voice for a Turtles character.
Well, and that's the funny thing that you mentioned that is that in that first movie when they recasted the voice and had Johnny Knoxville be Leo. Yeah. Like, it totally took me out of it because I had seen clips where Leo had that other actor's voice, like a no-name.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that.
It was the guy who played him. And in the second movie, the guy who played him actually got to do his
voice because Knoxville was like,
Knoxville didn't come back.
I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
But, like, it was just so Johnny Knoxville. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you're like, oh, man. All I could see is Johnny Knoxville. So, yeah.
Check with the live-action movie?
Yeah.
The 2014 one.
Johnny Knoxville was Leo?
Yeah, they had the voice. They had the voice for the whole thing done, and it was like last minute. They were like,
did a lot of reshoots.
We're going to do some reshoots, and we're going to revoice him. And then in the second movie, I think Krang was,
he was the dude from
Portlandia. Fred Armisen.
I thought he was the guy. Oh, was it him?
No, he was. That was the original casting.
Yeah, and it ended up being the dude from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Right.
The big dude.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
So his brother.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah. So there's a little bit of that, but
anyway, yeah.
Anyway,
we'll see. I guess. I mean, that's not a lot of news because he's not giving us any names or anything, but it would be.
I know it's impossible. I'm not going to have him, but don't tell me that everybody's brain didn't go to John Irwin.
John Irwin. God, would that be?
Even if it's, in my opinion, what it should be would be like a King Skull or King Grayskull cameo, or like something where like he's not fully committed to, like, because obviously if he wanted the work in the past 30 years, he could have had the work again, you know, and he could have been doing this stuff and he could be doing Comic-Cons and whatnot. But even if it was like a, hey, we really want your blessing, and that's where the Nickelodeon Turtle stuff did so well, in my opinion, is that they pushed forward, but then also were very honoring of the present and the past when it came to voice acting and the lore and stuff. So
We get, man, if we get John Irwin again, just for anything, but like, imagine if they did get him as He-Man. Because really, it was his regular voice. You get somebody like Alan Oppenheimer, he can't do Skeletor at all anymore.
Right.
Not really.
At all. Like,
Just
the
something-
last thing I saw him do in like Skeletor voices, he sounded like Man-at-Arms saying it.
Yeah.
So,
But he could still do Man at Arms.
he could still do Man-at-Arms, right.
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm just, man, because John Irwin, I just, that iconic voice for John.
I'm curious
What if
what if they could get Dolph to like do something? You know what I
That
mean?
too,
Like
yeah.
I could see them reaching in weird places like that.
Never know. What if they just got John Irwin to do like the intro?
Oh my God.
Just to do like a voiceover on
Yeah.
the
Like
intro.
so not exactly
No, not
Hi,
exactly.
I'm Prince
like,
Adam,
no.
but like something similar
like a
where it's like
narrator,
a narrative
Yeah.
Yeah.
start to the show.
Yeah.
Like there's like what if it was like Skeletor's narration in the beginning of the movie, where he's somewhere between the dark and the light, that whole narration that he does, there are powers beyond blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, that whole thing.
Yeah.
If John Irwin's voice did something
in a
along
narrator
those
type
lines.
fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be-
That'd be enough for me.
I think that'd
For
be
sure.
incredible.
God.
That'd be so cool.
It'd just be such a sweet little, I mean, I guess, I don't know if it'd be an Easter egg, but God, it would just be great.
And I gotta think that he would be. We all know he won't come out to a Comic-Con.
No.
But he could record that from his house.
Right,
And he really doesn't
exactly.
have to do anything,
Yeah.
but just talk.
Right.
Maybe he would be down to do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that we should
dreaming.
visit him someday.
Yeah.
We should just show
I
up at his
think,
house.
Show up
that the podcasters
briefly.
of the universe should take a trip.
I think he'd call the cops.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
Pretty sure.
I don't know. I don't
There's
think
a couple
so.
of fat guys out here trying to, I don't know if they keep yelling He-Man at me. I'd take them out.
I'm pretty sure it's not the craziest thing that's happened to him.
Maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
You ever
anything
checked him
about
out on
that.
Rawhide?
No.
Mm-mm.
I heard his voice. There was a voiceover on Seinfeld or something. He was like a radio announcer on Seinfeld or something.
No, Back to the Future, isn't it?
Was it Back to the Future?
I mean, Biff and
Why did I think Seinfeld?
when young Biff and old Biff are sitting in the car,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the old Biff is like, "Listen here, butthead."
Yep. That's the scene. Yeah.
And the radio, the sports announcer is John Irwin. It's unmistakably John Irwin.
Nice.
Like He-Man talking about sports.
No, it's weird. I wonder if he messed up other words like robot. I just want to hear him say robot again.
I heard somebody say robot. What was that from? Something recent I watched. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that was it Free Beer and Hot Wings, which is a local
Radio show.
radio show in our
morning
area.
show.
Somebody said something about He-Man says robot, and I was like, it was a weird place. Like if something you saying it here doesn't seem like that all that odd, but in the context of where I heard this comment from, I
Like
was
somebody
like,
was just
whoa.
talking and they said robot.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, but he said you say it wrong like He-Man.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah,
Like
this person knew.
he referenced it.
Yes.
I think it's
Nice.
probably not.
No,
That's
what
pretty
are you?
I have one minor piece of news.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Your wife's
This-
expecting?
No.
Oh.
Look at us. I don't think so.
Not even close.
Okay.
No, just randomly, I wanted to share with your fans. I took my family to see Charlie's Angels, and Noah Centineo has kind of I wouldn't say it's a cameo, but it's kind of a minor role where he's in a little bit of it, and then he's in a little bit of it, and like a love interest sort of thing to one of the girls. And this must have been filmed at least a year ago. You would think, just the way movies are. And people, I mean, as recent as now are like talking about like, oh, he's got to get bigger and oh, he's got to do this and that. And I don't know where all the movie news stands at this point. I know that some people are like sad and think it might not happen now and all this other stuff. But anyways, long story short, his neck and shoulders and just the way he kind of carries himself as a man, I was very pleased with. I was very pleased with his smile.
Yeah.
I haven't seen your movie that you referenced. What is it called again?
All the girls I've loved.
All the girls
it's all
I've
the
loved.
It's all the boys I've loved.
All the
Oh,
boys
okay.
I've loved. But I was a believer when I saw him on like a Jimmy Fallon interview, just like kind of the charismatic, kind of laid back attitude that he had. But after seeing him in this, I was like, I'm 100% in. I'm completely down with him
He's
being
naturally got a thick neck. You'll notice that in this other movie too, which has got to be a couple years now.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a thick neck. His weakest part on his body that I would say would need would be the tough part is he has very thin legs.
Okay.
And if you're gonna do skies out, thighs out, He-Man, that's gonna be rough.
Quick reference. Did you listen to the latest roast Google?
No,
Really?
I don't think so.
Really?
I'm behind.
Oh, okay.
Why did somebody say skies out, thighs out?
A couple times Nate did.
Yes!
He says I'm going to reference Steve Bisciotti here.
Yes!
I
Oh,
just heard
yes.
that today.
That's great.
Okay, keep going.
All right. No, I basically my thoughts finished. I'm just critiquing, and it doesn't really matter. They're probably gonna put pants on He-Man anyway. So,
Nah.
oh,
But yeah, so that's my news. I saw the latest movie he's been in, and I'm down with it. I'm down with it, and I'm hoping that it happens.
Sweet.
I never thought he was a bad pick.
No, I think we're all in agreement here. We're fine with that guy.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
a good choice.
Yeah.
So, that brings us on to our newest segment.
All right.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, we got a new segment.
Was there a button it's the push?
Not yet. Oh, to cannon.
Yeah. I like that. I think we should
Okay.
just record. We should just record that.
Right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, to cannon.
Yeah. We've had multiple music endeavors between the three of us, and I'm always the guy that just yells at the end.
Yeah, you're the hype
fits.
man,
It
dude.
fits. There's always got to be a hype man.
Yeah, we need the hype man. So far, we've done Beastman and Manny Faces and Potu Cannon. We did not choose a character last time when we ended, but that's because we must have had a premonition of Matthew coming and being a third member today.
I did not listen to your Beastman, but I listened to your Manny Faces,
Mhm.
and I would like to say publicly, Steve, I was very impressed where your head was at. Adding the mechanical side of it and adding there to be an actual application of why his helmet would have to be like that and what it would do. I was very pleased with most of what you guys ended up coming up with. I thought it was very cool.
That it's become a pretty fun little segment.
Yeah.
It's fun just riff-raffing about one character.
Yeah.
It puts a good focus on one character too. There's so many of them. We always talk about the same like bulk of characters, but it'll be nice to get into some weird ones,
Yeah.
So we have not done He-Man or Skeletor yet.
Right.
We stayed away from the two big ones. We started Beastman and Manny Faces are the only two we've done. Today we're going to add a third character
Very cool.
to the roster, and in honor of Matthew Rodriguez being with us, his favorite character is Moss Man.
Yeah, buddy.
So Moss Man is our
Potu Cannon
he's
character.
our subject today.
Potu Cannon.
Yeah.
So let's discuss now. This I'll just go through it again. What Potu Cannon is all about is if this show were to make a comic book, a movie, a cartoon, if me and Jeremy and today Matt were behind it, this is what we would come up with.
It's like our series Bible.
Yes. It'd be like, well, in Potu Cannon.
Yes.
Moss
Well,
Man
guys,
is
in
totally
Potu Cannon,
fine.
this is what happens. So, yeah.
So that's where we're at today. Now, Matt, what are you thinking? How let's start out with size. We'll do this. We did this with Beastman. Didn't do it so much with Manny Faces because I think it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
What kind of size this guy is? But what are you thinking, Matt? You thinking he's very large? He's very normal human size? What are you thinking here?
I personally have the preference of
Put that
him
mic up to
being-
your mouth.
Sorry, I personally have the hello. Hi. I personally have the preference of him being not identical to Beastman.
Okay.
I have the preference of him being slightly bigger than the normal Masters humans. But I sort of like, I don't know if it's gangly is the right word. I've been kind of falling in love with the goofiness of the Filmation version of him. Like I've seen some like pinups of him like that. And so I don't feel like this is a character that for me necessarily we have to go big with. Like when they released the 2000X version of his toy, like it was just a Black Beastman. And I was like, I'm over that.
That worked pretty well with the vintage line, but
right.
Doing this, it's like he's only big because that other figure is big.
Right. And with I would say facial wise, I don't want to get off topic. I'm getting off topic.
No, this is the topic.
So I would say, slightly oversized humanoid,
Okay.
as far as
This guy, he's a bigger guy, 6'2", maybe 6'5".
I'd even go that far. Like how big? What's
Our
your reference?
Our Beastman is about 7 feet tall, so we didn't make him like too huge.
Right. I like that.
But he's big.
And wide. Like he's probably a little bit
He's
wider
wide.
shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like in a size range, I'd say 6'2" to 6'5" at the most. Maybe he can fluctuate between that because of his, what his powers might be. I don't know. How about you guys? Are you guys more?
No, I'm fine with that. I think
I don't like the carbon copy of Beastman, just swapped colors. So I do like I always thought he was a little bigger. He's bushier. He's a little bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
I only have really one idea to add to this guy as far as now we've got his face or his size kind of figured out, and character wise, I think it would be fun, and I'm open to changes, but this is just what I came up with. It is to really and I know other people have said this before, but Sasquatch, this guy is a legend that many people say they've seen.
Okay.
But nobody really has a picture of him.
So you're not talking size Sasquatch, this guy. You're talking about as far as mythos.
As far as mythos, he's a
He's just kind
mythodic.
of like the Jungle Man.
Yeah, he's a legend of this creature in the woods that is maybe tied to nature. And we're not going to go into his powers because I really didn't think about that in too depth. But I just thought it would be kind of neat. We're like, okay, so like He-Man knows he's a real thing because He-Man's had to work with him.
Right.
Okay, but maybe not all of the masters have ever even seen him.
Right.
That
makes sense.
Kind of thing. Talk about the Moss Man, but
the mythical Moss Man of the jungle.
Maybe he has helped in battles where people didn't even know he was there to help.
All right.
Because he's so good at hiding, blending in.
Right.
People might be like, all of a sudden something comes out of nowhere and helps them defeat, but you look back and you don't see it.
Okay.
He's hiding in plain sight.
Trapjaw's running, like chasing Tila, and all of a sudden, like a root trips his leg.
Yeah.
And like you're like, whoa, that was helpful.
Yeah.
Like it got her out of there.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really know that somebody helped her. Like He-Man might have kind of noted, like, because he knows.
Yeah.
But I think that when you mentioned the camouflage side of it, that was the side of it, as corny as it was, like the stuff that he's in filmation wise. I thought that I like that, and so I do lean towards what you're saying as far as kind of the mythos, the Sasquatch, where it's a legend type of deal.
Well, when we talk about Masters of the Universe, we talk about them all being masters of they're the best at what they do, basically.
Right.
And this guy, I mean, we need a jungle man. We need the foliage guy. Whatever. He's hanging out with the trees and the grass and the plants, and he fits right in. You don't even see the guy. I mean, he can make himself seen, but would you think that he could change colors or anything like that, or is he more of a
I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
just kind of smirk?
I'm drawing him right now. I like the idea of him. It would be kind of cool, like if you do go with this down this
Like in the
avenue,
fall, would
like
he turn
yeah, like
orange?
would he like
Could he turn orange? I
could
should
he
say.
blend in with anything outside that was nature related? So for instance, like no, he's not going to turn white to be covered by the snow because that's not like nature as far as like plant life.
Right.
Right.
But could he turn orange into yellow, into browns, into like anything that's kind of a natural plant-based color? I kind of dig on that, and it fits in with the whole camouflage slash Sasquatch angle.
Right. It's not that he hides. Well, it is that he hides well, but he doesn't really have to like. He's not far off, or he could be right next to you, obviously. So it's like he's always kind of right there, or whatever. Like he just blends in.
Oh man, I just
Like the
okay. Can I? Oh, you guys, you're. Oh, okay. So
use your words.
yeah, but
Okay,
finish
I
sentences,
apologize.
man.
I apologize. So I feel like I'm about to do what Steve did with Many Faces. I mean, he was just on a roll. So what if? So one of the things that I didn't like about him 2000X is like once you kind of make the power set to quote unquote godlike, like to like being like you're way more powerful than everyone else and you could just murder everyone else by like throwing trees at them type of thing. Like I feel like it takes away from the humanity of it. And so what if so I always like the idea of him being like more humanoid-ish as far as feelings go. He blends in, he's camouflaged. It's kind of a lore. Some people know he's real, some people don't. Maybe people that are more connected to nature and are more hippie-like personality-wise, because I feel like he'd be kind of a more of an, out of all the Masters guys, like he'd be more anti-war, like he wouldn't be kind of down with it, but he shows up when he has to and when he needs to. What if he dies seasonally? Like, what if, like, his colors flow with the season, and like as trees begin to wilt and they're at, what if he like literally like becomes part of the earth, like, and then comes back every season? I mean, that might be too godlike, but I think like you were mentioning, like he changes colors with the leaves, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what happens when like the leaves fall? Like,
Well, I mean, they might not even though it is
right. That's
Eternia.
no, that is true. I guess I was just kind of going down that path of like, okay, like would he like go into hibernation, like he'd like settle in like this like mossy cave and like maybe not fully die per se, but like you wouldn't see him for X amount of months or
Right.
something, and that adds to the camouflage because he's gone.
Well, what I like where you're going with this, I would say that in the winter, as the trees lose their leaves, he just loses everything and becomes naked.
Okay.
And then little hairs start to grow in the spring.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. This is starting to. It's for me. It's starting to stray a little bit out.
Okay.
I was just, I was just making it.
I know you're right.
Yeah. Thanks. No, but so for you,
Me, I see him like I don't know. I just think.
how do you feel like the god powers? I guess what I'm saying. Like, do you
Like, can he ride a wave of plants and everything and just take out people? Like, I
That's
don't.
too much.
Yeah, that seems like it's too much power. I like him being able to control some things. I mean, like, I don't think that he could make a tree move because trees can't really do that. You know what I mean?
right?
But I do think that maybe he has like a special.
Can he make a tree grow? Like, can he make like the branches of a tree? Let's say there's a bad guy running. There's two trees close together. Could he make those two trees grow their branches and stop him?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Drew. does with his own body.
Right. But like, so does he make them grow, or does he like ask them to do that? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of, like, because instead of being godlike power, like he just like can move everything that he wants to. Like, what if he's connected to, like, for instance, what if he would have to have his foot on the ground and like these little roots out of the bottom of his feet that are like talking to the roots of that tree and being like, hey, you know, like how like some people have like animal powers where they can like ask the animals to do.
Well, yeah, we got Beast Man who talks to the animals,
right?
And now we could have.
So you're saying like he almost roots himself into the ground,
right? Like,
now does he become vulnerable when he does that,
or does he become vulnerable when he can't?
Oh wow!
Like if you keep him separated,
like if he was on
Earth,
cement all day,
right? Like, like if he's standing on a cement, like walking through Eternia or walking through the palace, like, and he can't make that tree blossom or whatever because he's like not in contact.
So he's got to like
mentally
tag
with
it.
So he would have to like touch it technically. So whether he's touching it through the roots of his feet or he's touching it physically with his hand and he walks up to
that's
it.
an interesting
Because that gives it a little
Yeah.
bit more of a grounded nature where it's not just like tree, you move here, and
Exactly
tree, you move
right.
there.
It'd be more hands-on then.
Because that's what, as much as I love Magneto and he's cool, like there's like certain elements of his power that I'm just like, man, they make it too easy. Like they almost make it too easy. Like he could just, because I'm thinking like Magneto's like moving this table while he's moving that over there and holding Wolverine against the wall. I'm like, I'm thinking, I want to think this all about this logically. In my head, I'm like, okay, so does he think first like, okay, you piece of metal, you don't move at all while I'm spinning this piece of metal over here. Like, you know what I mean? So
if Skeletor were to catch him, put him in a cage, he can't use his powers are kind of done.
I think the only
until somebody broke him out.
I think the only things he would be able to do would be his own sort of changing of color. I like the idea of him like being able to make his club like different shapes because it's like his club or it's part of his body. Like he could grow a club out of a limb. Like I don't think that that's like too extreme.
So you're saying that he's got like wooden bones?
Well, he's plant based.
Yeah.
Right, but
I'm just remembering in 2000X he like made that thing. He like.
Is that what's okay?
I'm pretty sure he like made like out of like nothing, like it like.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the Moss Man episodes.
I don't know. Like I feel that might give him too much power. Then because then if he is locked up, well, he can just create a bunch of stuff out of his body and figure out ways to get out and stuff. I kind of like him just being like he's a man,
right?
But he's fuzzy and
he became one with Earth.
Speak with the Earth. He touches the Earth and he can talk to.
Are there more like him, or is he the only one?
You're about to say something.
I was just thinking. I don't know. It's hard to say because I could see. I don't know if I want to see a race of plant people, but I mean,
does it take the magic out of it?
I kind of think he should be the only one.
Yeah, because if there's a bunch of them that can do it, it just.
Do you think he was it an accident? What do you think origin wise?
No, I think he's got to be more of a I don't want to say God, but something that was he
was chosen.
Yeah, he was a chosen being. He's been there forever. I do like the fact that I think is he pretty ageless, and is that from the comics? And I'm pulling that from.
I know it's in
he's
the
an ancient
for sure. Like he's one of the ancient, and in the newer comics too. He's part of like the old school Masters group with like Sir Laser-Lot and like all of that stuff.
Right. I don't mind the idea of that because you think of like a lot of plants last a long time too. Trees, obviously.
Yeah, different aging processes.
So it'd be cool if he had some like traits of stuff like that.
And he could have that's a pretty sympathetic character too because, and I like that angle of it where he's kind of anti-war, but he's probably seen so many wars and he's had to be a part of so many wars, but he ages differently. So it's that whole oh, that's awesome, you get to live forever. But then from that person's point of view, it's like, no, I've seen it. I've seen almost forever,
people
and
die.
I'm sick of it. Like,
so he's pretty wise. He's
yeah,
pretty wise.
I would say wise.
Pretty, he would be the old wise guy if He-Man were to sit down and talk to him.
Yeah.
Which I think I would say only a few people have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the sorceress. She knows he's out there.
Yeah.
He-Man, of course.
I mean, I could see He-Man. I mean,
maybe even Man-at-Arms.
if they needed him and there was a big all-out war, I could see him coming out. And, you know, if He-Man needed him, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he would definitely come out. But like I said, I think he would. I really love the angle of like the end of Harry and the Hendersons, when Harry goes into the woods,
Right.
and then the whole family's there, but you don't see him until they move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's there, but
Yeah.
people just miss him because they don't believe in him. He-Man's gonna see him.
Yeah.
And they don't stop and think about it either.
Right.
And I would think that it would be a cool idea if he's known to, like, say, Skeletor or Evelyn knows he sort of resides in these forests or whatever specific forests that he usually hangs out in, that there's a reason why, like, they rarely battle in those forests, because, like, they know that would be He-Man, or the attorney, like, the Master's trump card would be like, oh, they have him and we don't have
Trying to
Evil
take the
Seed right
fight
now.
out of.
Yeah, you want to take the fight
Yeah.
to the volcanoes and places where, like, he's less strong or has less ability. But yeah, the facial wise, do you guys like the liony sort of cat-like angle that it seemed like 2000X was handling? Or
No, I actually like my favorite head. I don't know, because I really like that Classics head.
Yeah, the
That
Classics head is amazing.
his new Classics head that was
Yes.
specifically made for him,
Yeah,
it hits all points for me.
Mhm.
it's perfect. It's not that
I don't know
Beast
who-
Man
I don't know,
copy.
it's like stoic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like a prehistoric man.
yeah. I mean, he looks like he's wise. You know, like he just has that. You'd respect that guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't, you get a switch.
This is so fun because it just, like, doing this makes me like Moss Man more.
Right, right. Because we're like
You're
taking
missing
all
out.
our favorite parts.
I'm sure I'm missing out.
We're missing out.
Moss Man's the best.
Did I ever tell you my Moss Man story?
No, you
When I
haven't.
was a kid, I drew a picture of Moss Man.
Uh-huh.
I really liked it. You know, I drew a nice picture of him. Well, I had the woods behind our house. I went out there and I found some moss. And I scooped it up and I brought it back into the house and I laid it across all the parts where there would be
You'd have
moss
moss.
for him. And I just left it there because that's my drawing. My art is complete.
Yeah.
I came back later and it was gone. I'm like, Mom, where'd Moss Man drawing go? She's like, oh, I thought that was just dirt on the table. She chucked it. So,
Moms.
but for the moment, I had a cool drawing of
A
Moss Man.
realistic
Yeah.
drawing of Moss Man.
with real moss.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got his size figured out.
Yep.
I think we all like the idea of him having to be rooted or connected to use his powers
Right.
to something that's alive or in nature.
And are we in agreement that it's not like I'm forcing them to do something? It's more Aquaman, like, please,
yeah,
dolphin, help me, and the dolphin helps.
kind of.
Like,
Yeah.
It's respect goes both ways.
Right. Okay.
Where were we on the can do? No, we don't want he can turn his hand into a club, or
Yeah,
We don't.
I don't
We
think
don't.
so.
I'm
Go
fine
there.
I
giving
think
that
maybe
up.
he could have made his own or something.
we all like the idea of him being a legend. Some people may think he's a myth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the mystery about him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can blend in as seasons change.
Right.
He's the ninja of the woods.
Also, so we're not making him naked, and he's not dying. So we scratched your idea and my idea. But as far as the seasons changing go, like, can we have him camouflage? Like, even if it's spring, could he make himself look like fall because he's by something that's orange?
I think so. I think if like you said, if it's nature, if it's a natural looking thing,
Okay.
if it's something that's alive or plant based, yes.
Okay.
Whoops. I just hit an air horn button.
It would be kind of interesting, just like if he wanted, he could just go all red. You
Right.
know what I mean? We could
Right.
see a red Moss Man for
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that could be cool. This is throwing it way old school, and you guys might not even know. I think his name was Jay Sun on org, but there's a fan character, and if you look it up, it's his name's Glade. And I think this is a Masters fan that liked the idea of it being a race. And so there were a whole bunch of different like Mossman people. And so I think from what I recall, the Glade character was like more of a creamy colored Mossman. And it was like an old, like wise, like skinnier, version of Mossman. And it's pretty cool. There's a custom action figure of him and some like stuff like that back on He-Man.org. But so when you were mentioning earlier, like if it'd be a race or just him singularly there, I just feel like everyone wanting to make things like, oh, well, there has to be like a whole race of those people. Like it works in some cases and that's fine, but I like the idea of it being more special because
me too.
Him.
I thought it was neat, like in the 2000X stuff, when you'd see like, oh wow, there's a whole race of those guys. Oh wow. But then when it became like a race of everybody, then you're like, well,
yeah, not everybody.
I guess these guys are the masters of their stuff, but I don't know, just kind of
like for some
it's
reason,
not special anymore.
For some reason, I liked it with Clawful.
Right.
I don't know why, but I just thought that one made sense for some reason.
Well, and they all weren't exactly clawful looking though.
No.
They were all like crustaceans and different like, sea creatures as far as that goes. But when you look at like the bat people and the Whiplash, the lizard people, like they were all basically like, well, are you the master of that, or are you just the one guy that we chose out of that race to be involved?
Yeah, that's what it becomes to me. Because it seemed like some of those other guys might have been even a better choice for Skeletor,
Yeah.
But
so I think we've got this down.
I do too.
Right? Is there anything anyone else needs to add?
I don't think.
What's he smell like?
Like pine, of course.
Agreed.
The man of the forest man.
All right.
I like this.
I love it.
Potu Cannon,
Motu
Moss Man.
Cannon. We've got 3 characters fleshed out.
I like this. We should get like little bios or something.
I know.
Get them going.
We can do that. These are recorded, so we can always go back and listen to it and be like,
Yep.
Write it
I
out.
love it. Perfect. All right. So I guess that will take us on to listener feedback.
Okay.
This actually kind of comes right off of the Potu Cannon. James Rao Cooper. I hope I'm saying that right. We'll just say Jimmy Coop. He says, is your beast man one of a kind or part of a tribe?
Oh.
Which is funny. So we were just talking about
Yes,
that.
we were.
In the Origins comics, didn't they? They made it a tribe, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but did we discuss that in camp?
I'm not sure if we did, but to me, he's one of a kind.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah.
He's his own beast. So.
But I like that we're getting, like
a little bit of feedback from it.
from.
Do you guys
viewers.
have him? Simple yes or no. Do you guys have him controlling animals?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like that fits with him being one of a kind more than because again, then it's like there's all these beast men that they're all like all controlling all the animals around them.
Right.
Like, it just
becomes
kind of,
chaos.
Yeah.
Martin Cantero's Pass. He says, no comments. Just looking forward to listening to another podcast.
Nice.
Thanks, Battle Kangaroo.
Thanks for listening.
Paul Guyton says, I have a Thanksgiving-based question. I'd love to hear you guys imagine what another Masters-based Macy's parade float would look like. We haven't seen one since 1985. How would it be themed? Which characters would you include? Let your imaginations run wild.
I got this.
Okay.
They would be playing music. They'd be playing this music right here.
Okay. All right.
And it would have me and Jeremy on it.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Jeremy would be actually playing this music.
Oh,
because he can actually do that.
So I get to get my music on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be running around looking fat. Stupid.
No, you would totally be cosplayed as Fisto on the float.
Oh yeah. I love this.
I think that part of it would be like forest based because A, that would be easy for them to do, and B, then I can cosplay as Mossman.
Perfect.
There you go. And it's actually not a Motu float, it's a Potu float.
The Potu float.
But in that 1985?
That's what he says here, 1985.
That float was really cool, especially for its time.
Yes, completely agree. Whoever was the creative mind behind like designing the float, like I think they did a really good job.
I would love to see something like that now. Like with the roster of characters. I mean, not that the characters have really changed a lot, but just how much better they could look. And plus, with it being in 85, there were some characters that never would have, made it on there. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It'd be cool to see. So, I mean, of course, I'd like me some Scarecrow and, just weird stuff like that. It'd be cool to see. Steve's thinking.
The big balloons.
Yeah.
The big floating Granomir.
Oh, man.
Like flying above.
Freaking meteorbs.
Well, because connected to the Granomir float, you just have an extra 3 strings at different lengths with meteorbs following it.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I would change the whole, not just one float, I'd change the whole parade.
Yes.
In a Masters Universe.
Into a Masters parade.
Yep, I agree.
Santa Claus is in the Wind Raider instead of the sleigh.
Oh, yeah.
We got the attack track. Every float is a different vehicle.
Yes.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Man.
That would be a great parade.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Motu parade.
The end of the parade is a giant Castle Grayskull, and as they get there, they all take their place at Castle Grayskull, and then have an awesome choreographed fight that'll knock your socks off.
Awesome choreographed fight, and it ends with Skeletor in front of the drawbridge, and the drawbridge opens, and He-Man steps out on it, and he says the iconic line. Oh.
Yeah. Totally. It's going to be the best.
I like this. Man, that would make me watch that parade.
I got to look up Macy's number.
Call up Macy's.
We got to call up Macy's.
So that was a random idea.
Yes, it was. I was like, yeah. Short but sweet.
Nice. We're getting in all our segments.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Ashley J. Smith. What tools are needed to repair vintage figures?
Oh yeah, okay. That's a decent question. Well, you're gonna need yourself a little screwdriver.
Yep.
You're gonna need yourself some pair of needle nose pliers.
Well, when you say little screwdriver, you mean like the really thin, tiny little ones?
Yeah, you're gonna want something that's.
You want a flathead, don't you?
Yeah, I'm thinking I want a flathead.
Okay.
Little pair of needle nose.
Needle nose always come in handy.
You're gonna need some.
Depends on how you're fixing them too.
Are you
If we're
doing
just talking about
old school
legs.
Are you doing old school O-ring, or obviously you can buy those new updated?
Right, and I've done both. I know you have too, right?
Yeah, I like the Motu connectors.
Those connectors are good, but I feel like I'm going to destroy them every time they are kind of a bitch to pull through.
Oh, to pull them through, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the needle nose definitely come in. You want a smaller pair of those because you just don't have a lot of space to work.
Always be aware of how they hook up too, because some of those inner crotch pieces are different for different characters and stuff too. So,
you're gonna need a nice dish with some hot water that you can put in, either nuke it or do something, because you're gonna want to be heating up some plastic if you're working with vintage figures.
Suppose you could use a hairdryer as well.
A hairdryer would work. Magic eraser is really good at cleaning things.
Yeah, very much so.
Man, I took that to my and that was a Wade Thurman recommendation. And I took that to my Wonder Bread He-Man when I got it, and it took off marker, it took off all kinds of stuff and made him look really, really nice.
Yep. And matter of fact, the only problem figures I've really had with the Magic Eraser is like the bigger, like Ninja Turtles, like those big, the vintage, like 10-inch, 12-inch, whatever they were, maybe even bigger. So for some reason, like the plastic was a little bit different on those, but like, yeah, there's a lot of figures.
If you're dealing with GI Joes, you're gonna need a Phillips small screwdriver to take that screw out the back.
Yep.
So you're saying investing in one of those little Q packs of like 5 baby screwdrivers is not a bad idea?
No.
We throw them away at work all the time.
You throw away screwdrivers?
Just these little tiny ones that come in these little packages
Mm-hmm.
for
Why do you throw them away?
because we don't need them. There's like so many of them. They come in. There's one part that we use that we attach to something, and it comes in a little baggie with a screwdriver each time. So each part has a screwdriver.
Get a hold of Jeremy.
Yeah, get a hold of me. I'll
screwdriver.
get you a screwdriver. Other than that, I mean, I've never like fixed a spring or anything like that in a vintage figure. Just their legs, touching them up with a little bit of paint.
Occasionally, some string.
Yeah.
I've used string to pull things through crotches.
Yeah, that's when I did the O-rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those also use the eye screws for the legs, but I mean, I don't know. Now that they have these replacement bands and stuff, it's like that's kind of the bunk way to go because you don't want to screw new screws into the legs and all that stuff. So now, where do you know? I mean, I know you can find those bands on eBay. There's obviously some people in the community too that do it. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of who.
I've only
sells
bought them from eBay, and
Okay,
I believe they had them at PowerCon.
they did. Yep, and they're cheap too. It's like $10 or something for.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Like $1 a piece or
They're not bad.
something like that. Other than that, I haven't really fixed anything else. Replaced an arm or something with a from a crappy figure with a good figure, or a good arm for a crappy arm, whatever.
That's about all I can think of.
And I found that stuff online pretty easy. There was like a Hebrew or something like that.
Yeah, he does some
Yeah.
really decent tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah. So he's got a website too. So HE-BRO. All right. Next, Nick Peterson. Curious, of all your various types of Masters of the Universe, I think it means figures, in your personal collection, vintage, classics, filmation style, which part is the most complete? Which variation are you most interested in to better round out your Motu collection? So which part is the most complete? So like which line of ours?
I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
My vintage line would be the most complete. I'm only a few figures away from being complete.
Yeah, same here.
I think my 2000X line
Yeah.
is the most complete because I have everything except for I think there's like a dog vehicle.
Do you have San Diego Comic-Con She-Ra?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like a loose one
Oh,
that I played with.
That's fine. That counts.
I just wanted that sword because the sword's actually pretty cool. It's mostly just the Tila,
I know.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I've got one. So
I got her.
Mine's still in the bag.
You have all the stactions too?
I think I'm only missing Leech.
That's nice. I don't have a lot of stactions.
Yeah,
Just a couple.
I have like 3, I think.
And then for for my wedding, my wife got me the big full body.
Wait, for your wedding?
Yeah. For a my wedding present before I walked
You
down
guys
the
got
aisle.
each other wedding presents?
It's pretty common.
Is it?
My wife got me a watch.
She got
I've
me
never
the
gotten
full.
married,
So I have the bust of He-Man
Uh-huh.
with the sword on the back, but then I also have like the full I don't know if it's 15, 16-inch figure where he's kind of standing there holding his sword. She got me that,
Wow.
and everyone in her family's like, okay, and
Right?
I'm like,
What's this dork got?
You're supposed to send your best man or something over to deliver it to your wife when she's putting on the dress and everything when she's with all her girls, so all her girlfriends can go. Oh,
I have never seen this ever, and all the people I've seen get married.
Yeah. My wife
Unless it
got me-
happened when I wasn't paying attention.
My
But
wife got me a really cool watch, and I bought her a really nice iron.
to iron your clothes?
Well, I didn't. I wanted to have a nice one. I'm not just gonna make my wife have
like
a crappy
this
one.
one.
Oh
This
my
one
God.
actually you don't
Oh
have
my
to.
God.
You don't have to heat it up by the fire. You actually put water in it. and
Right?
it's a
Yeah, it's
plug.
electric and everything else, and I think we still got it.
All right, where's that watch?
Honestly, I don't know what I got her. I did get her something, but I have no idea what it is. What it was.
Wow.
Do you think the watch would still fit?
Probably not.
Where's it as a necklace now?
Yeah.
Hangs off a chain.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting.
Right.
Which variation are you most interested or more interested in to better round out your collection?
I would say my most. I'm gonna reframe that and thinking that he means which collection is my favorite, or the one that's most important to me.
Something which are you more interested in to better round out your collection? I don't know how that, Nick. I'm not. Your sentence was incomplete. Like, do you need? Is there okay?
Is there somebody specific that you need for your vintage collection?
Yeah, there's like 4 figures:
Which ones?
Dragon Blaster, Skeletor.
Really?
Yeah,
Pretty easy one to get to.
Yeah, I feel like that's not a.
not complete with his chain and everything.
That's true.
Can't remember on our sticker.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Roton Twistoid, not hard, not easy.
Very true.
Easy, but not cheap.
Yeah.
Like you can go and get them,
Oh yeah, you can get them. Yeah.
but yeah. And then
And there's one more that it's escaping me right now.
Wildor.
Oh no, I've got.
You need some of like the overseas stuff.
Right, but I wasn't really counting those.
Do you need any meteorbs? I think you were getting pretty close to having.
I need some meteorbs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking I wasn't really. There's like 4 figures that I need.
You have all the Hornets?
Oh no, I don't. I need Buzzsaw Hornet.
Okay.
That's about it.
You have all the E-Mans.
Not Laser Light E-Man, but
Right.
not yet. I have Laser Light Skeletor, but there's a Laser Power. I don't know.
Whatever. It's the laser dude.
Right. So yeah, there's a few that I need. I guess the one that I would want to complete more of, and I do have a few more holes in, is the Classics line.
All right.
I just filled a hole recently.
Did you? What'd you
Yeah.
get?
I never had Pre-Turning a He-Man.
Oh,
He's actually a
nice.
cheaper figure to get your hands on.
Is he?
Yeah, Travis happened to have him, and I snatched him from him.
You're welcome.
Why? That come from you?
Well, because I could have been mine.
There you go.
In that transaction, I bought like 5 other figures, and I was gonna buy that one. And he said, I kind of said to Steve, I'd give that to him. I'm like, I'll pay you for it right now. And he's like, okay. I'm like, I can't do that to Steve. But yeah, it's a pretty cheap figure. It was right when it came out. Like it got like crazy numbers, like what people wanted for them.
Yeah, because it was an exclusive.
But it's back down to reality.
It's got a really cool cosmic key. It's all like back metal. I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's better than the one that came with Builder.
Wow.
I think it's the same mold, but I think it's just got like back metal on it and stuff.
Mhm.
So cool.
I'll have to check that out.
So yeah. So
How about
there's
you?
I have every basic figure for the vintage line. I need one Meteor, but it's the accessories that are kind of killing me.
Yeah.
I even have like some variants and stuff. Like I just got, I did a trade with Carl, stripper Carl, not that long ago, and got a clawful with the Skeletor feet as opposed to the Buzz Off feet or whatever it is. Like
Mhm.
I didn't even realize they had different feet. Like there were different versions. So every time I see something like that too, I throw them in the mix. But
Yeah, did you see that? You're talking about like the different feet. Did you see that one booth at PowerCon that it had a whole case of just Buzz Offs, and there was like 30 figures in the case, and they were all like everyone was from a different. Like he had little labels on them, like
Oh,
from
yeah,
what
everyone
country
had
they
something
came
different.
from, and like where they came, and like all like different. Like they painted them the chest opposite, like yellow and brown, and there's
Right.
brown and yellow instead, and
Oh,
so
wow.
it looks completely weird. But he had, it was like 30 figures in this big glass case, and it just had little like country labels next to it. It was pretty interesting.
that's
nice,
fun. That's
nice.
some fun stuff you'll see at PowerCon.
Yeah. So next, Jimmy Phillips. Anything from either of your collection you let go of, only to later go through hell and high water and maybe a dented wallet to reacquire. All my cards on the table I have. I think there's a picture maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I just thought that was like kind of a Yoda phrase he just said at the end.
No,
Maybe was it?
All the cards on the table I have.
I have to say no.
No,
I'd never let go of anything. That's a problem.
it might be. I let go of some stuff in the past, not by choice though. So I guess
Right.
when I was a kid, like I basically
Yes.
acquiring that collection. But no, nothing like I have toyed with the idea of selling that in box Snake Mountain. But I mean, it's just sitting there, not even getting appreciated. It's on a shelf with a collection, so
Then it's cool.
then it's cool. But no, I haven't. I haven't. Everything I get, I keep. I mean, there was some doubles, I guess, but
You said you let go of some knockoffs that you regretted.
Yeah, but looking back, I mean, I've gotten a couple of them back, and really, I purged more of the human-looking ones, and I like the goofier-looking ones.
Mhm.
So, like, I don't regret it. No, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew?
Same.
So
I keep everything, and my wife doesn't like it.
Nope. Nope. Gary Rickelman. Does Skeletor have a name for his team? Hordak has the wittily named the Horde. But what are Skeletor's forces called? And who takes over if Skeletor was to be felled in battle?
Skeletor is
They're called the Evil Warriors.
Evil Warriors. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Gary.
Evil Warriors.
It's very simple. And He-Man's crew is called the Heroic Warriors.
Yep.
And if Skeletor were to go down, apparently Jitsu takes over. Where does that come from? That is from something.
That's
Comic book or bios.
classics.
Is it?
Classics, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd say Evil Lyn. You know, it was old school. So yeah,
Is there anyone else that you'd want to take over? Like you think like there's the capability of taking over? Like if you go with the angle of Icons of Evil, like how like Trapjaw was sort of like leader-ish qualities.
Like, Evil Lyn seems like the most Starscreamy.
yeah.
Right. Oh, for sure. I'm right with you with her being like, it's her. I feel like they gave it to Jitsu because they feel like that could like add to his character.
Make him more likable,
Yeah.
or at least
Well,
noticeable.
Right,
well,
yeah.
we've not really seen him be bolded.
True.
A lot of the other characters we have.
Well, Chopper
I-
wasn't in Filmation.
Yeah, he's in one episode for like 2 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody remembers that.
Right.
That's true.
And he didn't even look the same. He didn't even have a metal hand.
And beyond that, he had some She-Ra questions, but there's possible spoilers, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen the new season. So,
Oh, okay.